Hi, welcome to Ask Love Coach. Kindly subscribe if you're new to my channel. I'm not sure where you'll be seeing this watching from. This will be posted across different channels. So welcome and welcome and welcome. So today's topic is very different to what many of us are used to. Oftentimes we have strategies for different things. We want to start a business, we want to have a business strategy. We want to go to school, we want to figure out a strategy for the kind of course we're going to study, the kind of school we're going to attend. We want to start a family. We, after we've got married or whatever it is you believe in, we tend to have strategies for a lot of things. We want to relocate, we have strategies, like pretty much everything. But when it comes to dating, I don't know why we don't seem to have strategies. This strategy will be for anyone who is single and dating, for both men and women. So it's not like it's relative to specific gender. Um, Today's topic is quite interesting. It's dating strategy for men and women. A lot of the times we tend to focus so much on things that may not be relevant to what we're looking for. Dating is relative, by the way, and oftentimes the way you find your partner, the way you find your spouse, can be a coincidence. Some people have been fortunate enough to just meet their husbands, their wives, without so much of strategies. That can happen. That can happen. But sometimes we still need to have strategies. And if the universe brings us together, of course, that is the universe bringing us together. But as much as possible, you want to be strategic in the way and manner you find your spouse or your partner. Whether it's just relationship and you're not looking to be married, that is another thing. But at the end of the day, you just want to, as much as possible, make sure that you're following through the entire process of selection, of seeing somebody who will potentially be what you're looking for. One of the biggest things we need to understand when it comes to strategy is you having a clarity. Just like someone who is starting a business, they want to first of all have like a business plan. The business plan is more like a blueprint of what you're looking to achieve. Of course, it's not set on a stone. So certain things you might forecast, but of course, in due time, you're able to adjust. That's what makes it flexible. You want to adopt agile, you know, method in literally most of the things you do, because you know that a lot of things will be adapting and changing. So you want to, as much as possible, consider those changes, because you all know that life is not always the way we want it. We might have um, everything thought out, planned out, but life can be lifing, and we just have to find a way to make sure we are not thrown out of course. So this is not in no particular order, if I must say, but it's very important. The first step for anyone who is looking to apply or adopt the strategy will be to make sure you have clarity about who you are as a person. When you understand yourself in terms of what you consider important, what you value, what you would like, desire, or want, what are those interests for you so far from your life experience? Because for you to be considering marriage or being in a long term or in just relationship in general, you want to not just dabble in and see how things goes. Of course, if that's not what you're looking for, that's different, because I understand most of us, that's what we're looking for and that's all we're looking for. So there's always a difference when you know what you're going to the shop to buy, because when you understand details of what you're going to buy, let's say the name, the brand, it's easy for you to go into the supermarket or into the shop or to the market or wherever it is and pick up what you're looking for, because it's easy for you to identify. That is a mindset I would recommend for you to have when it comes to dating. Because when you understand yourself clearly, like so well, in depth, it becomes easy for you to identify what it is you're looking for in a partner. You want to have clarity in terms of what exactly you're looking for. Of course, you might want to consider the physical attributes, but most importantly, you want to consider their character traits. Because when that is clear to you, you're not going to be wasting so much time in terms of, is this one? Is it that one? Today, apparently, a friend of mine asked me, you know, something about choosing a partner. And she was baffled the way I answered some of the questions. She said, oh, she would not have thought about it because she thought it was completely gamble, like you're gambling. Because you just never know what you get at the other end. I say I understand, but sometimes when you put in, I don't like to use the work required because that could put somebody off when everything is so attached to work attached. And I do not want to use certain um, kind of words that's in the media, especially from the psychological viewpoint. But I like to think that when you know yourself to a huge extent, it's easy for you to know exactly what you're looking for. So when you have that clarity and understanding of somebody you want to do life with, in terms of course, physical attributes and their character traits, um, of course, that includes their values, their interests, their lifestyle, their preferences, and all of that. But it's also important for you to figure out where this kind of person may hang out. Where do they normally go to? What kind of things do you think this person will be doing? Sometimes you might not get it right, but you just want to, as much as possible, guess to see if possibly you would, you know. But it's all about you just putting some things in place. So you might think the kind of person you're looking for, attends certain events or they hang out in certain, locations, and it could be that they're just some homebodies. So that is another thing. So you don't want to kind of miss the opportunity or take forever to figure out exactly where the person hangs out. you know your job here is to, as much as possible, figure out what could look like exactly where they will be hanging out. You don't have to have it correctly 100% the first time, but you need to keep refining and keep adjusting. So, for example, maybe the person you are looking to meet, the person that you would desire to be your partner, might be someone in the corporate world. Where do you think they'll be hanging out? Of course, they will be in conferences, seminars. That does not mean that some of them might not be hanging out in the club. But again, how would you know where they're hanging out in the club? Maybe the special, I believe, do they have like special area for them? Or VIP, some, section, I believe. Yeah, for them. So you might want to consider that because sometimes it's a hit and win miss kind of thing. The mindset here is for you to explore different opportunities and for you to think in terms of just outside the box. Just like what I said now, you might be thinking that a company CEO or executive will only be hanging out in seminars and all these high-end sporting activities, let's say horse racing, horse racing, football or soccer uh, events, seminars, conferences, whatever it is. But don't be surprised that some of them might just be in strippers club. But if you go to this, find yourself in that area, of course, you would not expect that they're always there. But let's assume you figure out, okay, I've explored different places and I want to just be a little bit weird, and you go to, let's say, strippers club, or let's say um, nightclubs. You would imagine that they might be on more of the reserved private place where not random people or anyone and everyone can easily identify they are the ones there. So, but the goal here is just for you to, as much as possible, figure out where they may be hanging out, the caliber of person you're looking for, the people you're looking for. If you're looking for, let's say, a spiritual or godly person, you would figure out where could they be found. So these are things you will need to kind of, explore. Another great place for you to find certain people, but you need to make sure that you have, the another great place to be online, dating platforms. So, but you want to make sure that, maybe there's some credibility about the website, because I understand there are a lot of cowboy ones where, people go there, they pay, and they seem to see a lot of married people there, or people who are not actually looking, they're just looking for hookups, or people who are not acting as if um, some of them are catfishing, and some of them are not putting their real profile or their real selves on there. So make sure whichever website or platform you want to utilize, has some credibility. If possible, if somebody will refer you to any, that would be really crucial. If somebody will refer you to, a very good one, sometimes they have like private ones. I've seen someone who said they have like some, dating websites where it has to be through referral only, so not for everybody, but some people of certain caliber are the only ones allowed, like company owners, directors, like executives, like top dogs. So, but whichever one you want to go, I've seen people who use like random and basic ones that, the ones that are really popular, and they manage to find their soulmates there. So the essence of this is not even to recommend any, because I don't know, well, just for you to explore online dating platforms. And while you're at it, make sure you have a good profile that would depict exactly what you're looking for. So you have to be really, really clear. You have to be authentic with yourself. You have to be upfront with what you're looking for, just so you just don't entertain people who are not, interested in what you're interested in, and people who may just be browsing through for the sake of it, exploring just because they're having a fallout with their partner, and they just decided to just come somewhere on the platform to just get acquainted with someone and with the intention of whatever. So, but the goal here is for you to be as strict as possible. Of course, it's not as straightforward as it may seem, but you should be willing to go through the rigor. You are making sure that your profile says what you say you are. And when you do filter, let's say they have like search button where you might need to search to figure out, just to kind of filter through to see people who might be close match to what you're looking for based on the keywords or however they search. It's important for you to be clear with the people you decide to connect with. So if you are connecting with people, make sure you read their profile clearly and see if you need extra information from them. Connect with them via, if possible, video calls, just so you can speak to them directly, know they're human, precisely, just to also double check if the pictures they have there is same person. And if you need to ask them, specific questions that are really crucial to you, that is the moment for you to actually consider that. Another great way will be for you to just speak to your family, friends, and anyone in your network. Just tell them that you're actually, available and looking, and if they will refer you to anyone who is trustworthy, or somebody who they may consider to have a good match, to be a close or good match to you, you can explore that option. So these are the main, tips for you to really consider when you want to cast your net, so to speak. I think the next point is actually tied to, expanding your social circle, attending events, attending workshops, and things of that nature. The process can be a little bit different for many people, depending on what you're looking for and how quickly it is for you to find it. But you have to have an open mind, very important. Um, don't just limit yourself to, any specific type or approach, when it comes to just exploring. If you know exactly what you're looking for many, they are just very doggone correct, and they're very certain about what it is they are looking for. They just want people of, somebody of their kind, somebody of their faith, somebody who speaks the same language as them, or somebody who, you know, has certain features or characteristics, whatever that is. But if you can have an open mind, because sometimes um, people don't come in the package you're looking for. So they might have other qualities and characters that you would like, but maybe their physical attributes is not exactly the same. However you would prefer it. Sometimes you might not get it exactly how you want it, but nothing is impossible. If that is slowing, you down in terms of um, what you want or what you need, then you have to make sure that you're prioritizing in your own favor. So you might want to say, okay, the physical attribute is not so much of a big deal for me, but I cannot compromise on the character and the values of this person, so I must prioritize those. So the package it comes in is something you might want to kind of reconsider. So you are focusing more on the quality, not the quantity. So when you start to meet people um, that you truly feel there's a connection of some sort, it's important for you to consider spending long enough time to know them. As much as possible, don't engage with hundreds of dates. First and foremost, it's exhausting. You might forget people's names, what they told you about them, because of course you have your normal grind or hustle, your business, something you do normally. Like you have your job where you make money from your business, and you have other things that are of importance to you than to just have another full-on event for yourself just because you can't seem to quite make up your mind. So the goal with you finding people and connecting with people is to be mindful, because it's easy for you to engage with multiple dates and you end up not actually connecting truly with somebody. Because you might start, the longer you spend with people, you might have the tendencies of connecting with them on different levels, and you could miss the whole game, or um, the whole reason why you started to even go back into the dating world. Excuse me. So your first approach, or your initial approach when you start connecting with people you really like, is for you to prioritize and be honest with yourself in terms of people you want to explore a little bit more. Like you want to get to know them on a deeper level and see if there's anything there for the both of you to work with. But do not, I would recommend, by the way, not to engage with too many people, because you can end up being confused. Don't be surprised that some people who have engaged in this previously, they might go to a date and they might not remember exactly the name of the person they're supposed to be meeting, and they could model things up because they are not even exactly and entirely sure about the experience they had with you previously, because they've had with multiple people. Maybe one of the dates was in let's say in a bar, and another date was a walk in the park, another date was in the club, or in one event or another date was just you might not remember some of the conversations you've had, before you called it a day. And let's say you wanted to have like the second date or third date, and you could have had like multiple dates with somebody, and now you're just muddled up. And if the person is just dating you, it was so obvious. Like, are you talking about someone else? Or because that wasn't me. I can't remember us going to certain place that you just mentioned. Now you're gonna be swallowing your words, and it's almost as if you have to explain, especially if you haven't told them that I'm actually multi dating, like I'm dating multiple people. So be very mindful, especially if you're looking to have like a more solid relationship. Just focus on one person at a time. And when you've explored every opportunity of getting to know the person and you don't think there's any headway with this person, you can politely and respectfully decline and move on to the next person. But you have to make sure you've closed that date before you move on to the next date so that you don't muddle up things. But just do one at a time, pretty much. So communication is very key. It's important for you to express yourself honestly and openly in terms of what you need. You know, the partner should know what you're looking to, what exactly you're looking for. So I was talking to another friend of mine today, and one of the things they told me about their friend, of course, I don't know this friend, was that the friend met somebody, and the person was so rude, very disrespectful, and from the jump, like I think the minute they met, I don't know if it was the first or second or what number of dates, but that was how they remember their introduction for this person. And when my friend was talking to me, it was just almost like, what the heck? This person was so disrespectful. This person was rude and mean and all of that. I said, but don't you want people to come with their authentic self because it helps you to filter quickly? Or would you want people that will come and mask up, pretending to be who they are not, and you fall in with their representative just to figure out that they were demons? And when I finished explaining it, she was like, oh, actually, I think it makes sense. I say, of course it do. It does. When I meet people, I'm not expecting you to show me a version of you that you're not. I want to meet you where you are in the moment because that would help me to make a decision whether or not, you know, I want to engage with you further than what it is now. So I think that should be the mindset when you're meeting new people. You want them to come the way they are because when you see clearly that this is not what you're looking for, it's easier for you to discard them. So it leads me to the next level. So when people show you exactly who they are, in terms of what they're looking for, don't be mad at them. Don't be mad at them because dating stage is for you to actually explore and make a decision. It's a selection process. I normally look at it from the angle of a recruiter. So a recruiter would advertise um, the job title, the job description, and different people hopefully read through the job adverts and they put forward their CV. So the recruiter will have to filter, make a selection based on what they give to them, isn't it? Their resume or their CV, depending on which country you come from. So, but that is more like an introduction to who I am. Then they will get to speak to you. The same way with dating. So when you speak to people, they tell you what they tell you. It's not up to you to verify what they say, who they say they are. This is also the initial stages for you to date. Because with recruiters, for example, when let's say they select your CV, the next step will be for them to invite you for an interview. So now you're going to back up, the CV, the resume that they received. If they're still pleased, now they're going to, give you that warm handshake and say you're welcome to the team. So in some cases they will do training, in some cases they will not, but there's another stage which is called probation stage. At probation stage, they are actually trying to reconcile what you said on your CV and what you've shown to them for the period of time, oftentimes 3 to 6 months, depending on the company culture. So based on what they've seen, they've been able to reflect, you know, with the CV that made them to get to know you to begin with. And if that does not align, then they tell you it was nice doing business with you. So at this point, you are dismissed, like you're literally. They will let you go. So the same way, that's how you treat dating. Don't try to change people. Don't try to knock them into what they are not, or mold them into, or shape them into what they are not. Best believe what they show to you, what they say to you. Whatever they say to you and what they show to you, if they do not align, if they don't match up, you don't have to knock them down to, and get vexed. That is actually very dangerous to your mental health. But just to quietly decline and say, okay, it was nice doing business with you. You know what I'm looking for. You know, it is what it is. So hopefully next time you're able to vet differently and better. But every process, every step is a lesson. It's something for you to hopefully reflect on and improve on the next time you go back into the dating space. But that is the mindset. That is the more like the approach to consider when you are actually dating. Once you observe red flags, the first thing is not for you to quit and run, but to address it and see if there are any changes that will be made. If there are no changes and you know that this is of concern to you, then you don't want to compromise, because at the end of the day, you want to, as much as possible, vet correctly before you move into the marriage stage, because the goal is not to divorce. But I know sadly sometimes that will be the case. And while you're at it, you have to be patient, you have to persevere, you have to know that everyone's journey is different. And you just stay focused. Don't be distracted. Don't dabble into something that you've not set out to do in the moment. So make sure that you are staying through to what you want, what you're looking for, and surely, slowly but surely, you will get through. The goal is for you to continue to be strategic, focused, be honest to yourself, no matter what. Don't try to change somebody. Don't try to compromise what you would consider, value to yourself or a deal breaker. Make sure you are very true to yourself. Um, so thank you as always for watching. I hope this was really insightful for you. And if you're looking to hire a love coach, my website is actually right in front of me. Is makemeyourlovecoach.com. You may want to email us directly if you do not want to book online. Maybe you have 1 or 2 questions for me. Feel free to email that in as well. And as much as possible, I will try to address that whenever I come live or whenever I am making another slides or another training material. Thank you so much for taking time to come and visit me today. Have a lovely rest of your day as always. Peace.